Hey, how's it going? I animated this cinematic trailer for this pixel art game called Legends of Idleon. I had a lot of fun making it, so I wanted to create a behind the scenes video to kind of gush about the process of this whole thing, if you're into that kind of stuff. Starting off, once I was in contact with Lava, the creator of the game, he gave me the art assets and I began brainstorming ideas of what to make the video on. I was originally overthinking it a lot, planning out the show, the mechanics, progressions, and features of gameplay, and Lava was just like, nah, just make it flashy and cool. Which made it really simple once he said that, as far as coming up with ideas. I grew up with watching Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, so closing my eyes, I started seeing action choreography in my head. This video was kind of the perfect project for me, but I can't completely wing it off that and go straight into pixel animating. In general, the good next step to do is a process called storyboarding. With storyboarding, I do a rough animated doodle of what's in my head, and that's incredibly helpful in order to have a reference later on throughout the rest of the project. And so after storyboarding it, I realized oh, this is a lot of work, and I brought on my friend Min to help out. He did all of the 2D character animation in the video, and he also did the sound design. And then on my end, I did essentially all of the compositing, the 3D side of things. So I created the 3D environments, I added all the filters, particle effects, etc. With that separation, the storyboards was super helpful in not only kind of giving me an idea of how I'm going to do camera 3D rotational stuff in After Effects, but also it directed Min on how he should animate the characters and pose them for each of the shots. Once I finished the storyboards, he would then take a crack at animating that in Flash, and then I would give him feedback. But most of the time, he just knocked it out perfect on the first try. It was really awesome that things worked as smoothly as they did. And yeah, so the other stuff I just want to go into is all of the very specific stuff in After Effects. So I'm gonna switch to just a screen recording of that one. So hope you guys enjoy. Here I can show you the After Effects side, but I think it would be best if I kind of reviewed some basics with all of you guys first on sprite animation. Drag your animation here, scale this up. Your guy is super blurry. This button here, it rasterizes the layer and you will get pixel perfect quality no matter how much you zoom in. The other cool thing you can do in After Effects, go layer, solid. So you have a green box here. If you hit this, make it into a 3D layer. And I could also make the warrior 3D layer as well. Rotate these, go like this, 90-degree floor, and I'll set the floor close to his feet, layer, new camera, and then with the camera, zoom in, here we go. And so you see when I rotate, he starts becoming flat. This is the anchor point where the position and rotation, really all attributes center from. And I like to set it to characters' feet so their feet don't move from the ground. But anyway, layer, transform, auto orient, and then orient towards camera. Character, no matter where the camera is, it's going to be facing the camera. And this was super helpful in the video with not only all the characters but the background environments. And the last thing I guess I could show is you can go to layer, light, point light, okay. When you put a light, everything starts reacting to it, and the material option, choose how you want the lights to work. This is the ground. I don't need it to cast shadows. Except shadows, I want that on, but except lights, I'm going to turn that off so it stays that green color. And then if I go into our warrior layer and then go to material options, I'm going to turn cast shadows on, and see now there's a shadow. For the 3D scenes in this video, it was really nice to have shadows displaying because it just really made the characters feel like they fit into the scene. Mike Lowray, what are you doing here? Get out of here. Okay, I have a few more things to show you. One is effects. Click on your layer, click on an effect, and then you have an effect. And if you go to the effects window, there's just so many different effects. Best way to learn is just to try them all out or watch tutorials. The other thing is animating. So with the 3D layer, add a keyframe here, push it back, and add running towards screen. And then I'll move these keyframes, moves the character from point A to point B. So I think those are all of the After Effects fundamentals, but I can jump into the project to show off some very specific things I made. Yeah, I want to kind of show off this first scene, how I approached creating the map for this, and this really kind of combines all of the fundamentals that I just taught a moment ago. So you can see this from a different perspective. All of these characters, when I rotate around, you'll see that they are standing in place and they're always facing me no matter how I move the camera. And that's because they all have the auto orient on and their anchor points are positioned at their feet. What I did, which was interesting, was I made the ground into like a perfect circle. So you could see like how the ground is rounded up here. And then on the left, you can see the circle because that is like a bird's eye top down view. And then if I zoom out, bird's eye view, these lines right here, if I click, these are the mountains. So I made the mountains really far away and just made them into a box. And then the sky is actually done differently. The sky is an effect called CC environment. Basically you just set it like on the bottom, attach your background layer. So like having CC environment make the sky like actually spherical. So like it's very smooth, you know, the sky is much smoother than the mountains. And then yeah, with the camera work, basically this is the camera layer, and you could see right here, this pink indicates like where the camera's pointing. And then also see this red line, the camera slowly moving in straight towards that red line. All I did was I made this red line rotate to the side. So basically this is the rotation here, and then this is the zoom in here. So it was really easy to animate the camera just very smoothly orbiting around the scene like this by setting up the camera this way. So that was a neat trick. And then also what was really complicated was this is like how everyone was animated. So they're all standing in place for each of these beings, set the anchor point to their feet. But what I had to do for the warrior, I animated all of these keyframes for both the anchor point and the position keyframes. I've never had to do this before on an animation, but I think the result came out pretty good. Okay, up next is particles. I used an effect called particular, and there's actually quite a lot of lag. So when I work with particles, I solo it, turn off the motion blur because that's making it go slower. There are a lot to particles. So like if I go under here, I can see like within the emitter, you have settings like how many particles do I want to burst out? Where should it be positioned in the 3D space? How should it be rotated? And then there's like another column for like particle type is and physics, what the gravity is. I have this set to bounce, so I basically got the green floor layer and it's bouncing on that. Going more in depth would require a video on its own, but I just wanted to call out the use of this trapcode particular plugin. And then for this scene, it's just the camera moving really fast, so you can see the box on the left side of the screen moving. There's also particular explosions going off in the camera. Yeah, this just took like a lot of like testing to get the timing to feel good. Like at first I had the camera moving like too fast and couldn't really see anything, and this was kind of that like yeah, the speed's like really fast, but you're able to see the explosions. You're gonna be able to see the spikes that you're going past. And then this is one of the more interesting shots I did. I soloed these layers out so it would lag a lot less. Here, these are all of my layers. When you highlight all of them, it's kind of crazy, but I'll click through one at a time and you can see just how many different places he is separated. And what's most interesting, I'd say, is pelvis and chest area. There were so many different sections where I separated his body in order to make it boxier. And then the head is separated and the top of the chest is separated. And then of course the arms and the shoulders and the sword is separated in order to give him some subtle movement. On the left, you can see how he looks really broken and jank, but really it doesn't matter as long as it looks good from our main camera view. I could rotate the camera just slightly to show, like, you know, how well the and how bad the dimensionality kind of works, but the goal was just I wanted something where I could get like really vertical with it. So that's everything in the project that I wanted to go over, but I can talk about why I worked on this project. I've been working from home on the computer due to the pandemic, and this game, which is designed as an idle game, was just perfect and enjoyable. You grind and level up in this game by going AFK. It has like a lot of complexity and depth in the systems, which is something I really like, and it's just kind of like a low commitment, fun thing to get into, especially with friends. Also, it's a really impressive game for a solo developer. I just appreciated the casual tone in this game, the humor, and not being afraid of acknowledging its inspirations. And when it comes to animating, I've been just like more picky about like what I want to animate over the years and like what tends to motivate me, and somehow this just checked all the boxes. So shout out to Lava for making an awesome game and the opportunity to work together with him. I guess that's it for me, so I'll go back to my hiatus and sleep again for another couple of years, maybe. Don't subscribe, but see you next time.